I'm Yvette Rogers, Outreach Coordinator for Celtic Colours International Festival. Over the years, I've been so fortunate to travel to almost every corner of Cape Breton Island to work with some remarkable people who help make their communities what they are. This summer, I traveled around the island and met up with some folks along the way. Join me on a road trip and explore some of the unique communities and vibrant cultures that make this beautiful island the home of our hearts. Situated along the Cabot Trail in the beautiful community of St. Anne's, you'll find College na Gaelic, the Gaelic College. The only institution of its kind in North America, students of all ages and skill levels visit the college to study under some of the finest instructors in Nova Scotia Gaelic culture. With programs on the music, language, crafts, customs, and traditions of the Highland Scottish settlers, College na Gaelic offers one-of-a-kind learning experiences all through the year. If you've been to Celtic Colours, you may be familiar with the Gaelic College for hosting the Nightly Festival Club. But it's also been festival headquarters since 2000, providing a home base for staff, volunteers, and artists. Just down the road is the village of Baddeck, a charming community that sits along the northern shore of the Burdor Lake. Its central location makes it an attractive place to stay for folks who are touring the island, typically turning Baddeck into a bit of a hub and hive of activity during the festival. One of this community's special gems is the Alexander Graham Bell National Historic Site. The museum provides a plethora of artifacts and information about the history of innovative thinking, creativity, and collaboration that once took place in Baddeck. I visited Melissa at the museum to talk about the fascinating work of Alexander Graham Bell.
Well, everybody knows Alexander Graham Bell for the inventor of the telephone, but that's just the first of the many things that he did. From the first airplane in Canada to the fastest boat in the world in 1919, to anything from teaching the deaf to the audiometer, he had his hands in everything. And his ideas flew here in Baddeck. He actually had a laboratory across the water from where the museum is today. And things were being built there that would impress any big city, let alone a small community like Baddeck. And so this site is really to honor that and to honor the people that worked there and his ideas that were born here in our community. He was a Scotsman. He came to Canada when he was just 23 years old, but he always loved the idea of Scotland and what he left behind for his health. And so when he came to Cape Breton, he came because of a book called Baddeck and That Sort of Thing, which called it a simple little village where every day feels like a Sunday.
Oh, nice.
But he got here and he saw Scotland from the hills and the lake, from the people. We were still mostly a Gaelic-speaking town at the time, and so he really saw his people in the community itself, and that's what kept him here. And it's just an amazing community that grew up around him and that he grew up with the community too.
Bell's wife Mabel also played a significant role in the community.
She started a ladies' club for women to learn about the world around them and to not leave that for the men to do. She started a sewing club so that women could sell things that they made and make money separate than that of their husbands. Sewing clubs would start all communities around, not just Baddeck, but St. Anne's, Bullindree, Middle River. They all had these sewing clubs that Mrs. Bell started, and helping to grow that idea that crafting is not just something to do for fun, but you can make money off of it. Mm-hmm. And so it really started that idea, and I still think that it's grown into what you see on the Artisans Loop today as well.
The legacy of Bell's innovative work can still be felt around the world today, particularly here in Baddeck, where many people still have a personal connection.
It's crazy to think that 100 years ago, how much science took place in this town, which is now seen as a tourist town. But it's amazing to imagine what it must have been like. My great-grandfather actually worked for him. And many people in Baddeck have that connection, family members who worked on the property or directly for Mr. Bell. And it's just incredible to see that connection as they come through the museum themselves and hear that, oh, right, I forgot about this. And almost everybody from the local area of Cape Breton has that moment of, there's no way you can remember everything he did, actually. So it's great to see that as visitors here.
Well, Melissa, thank you so very much for taking the time today to speak with us, and we're so very grateful to yourself and your colleagues at the National Historic Site here to work to share the story of both Alexander and Mabel Bell, and I really appreciate you sharing your insight and your knowledge and your time with us today.
Oh, well, Tapalai Verti, and thanks for coming.
I think it fitting to conclude with a quote often attributed to Alexander Graham Bell. I have traveled around the globe. I have seen the Canadian and American Rockies, the Andes, the Alps, and the Highlands of Scotland. But for simple beauty, Cape Breton outrivals them all.